Hey, welcome to Wolf's Watch. I'm Wolf. This is part two of the discussion we were having about ending remote work and problems related to that. Talked about the first problem. This is the second problem, part two. The second biggest cause of ending remote work failing is it doesn't solve the problem you're attempting to solve by bringing people back into the office. Mandatory return to office, or RTOs as they're being abbreviated, you know, probably the MBAs and the Ivy League school people doing that because they love their TLAs, their little three-letter acronyms. So RTOs, returning to work orders. The challenge with that is the second biggest driver for doing that is to solve a problem, not getting the results that you want, not having the productivity that you want. Being out of the office, working remote isn't the problem. And by issuing an RTO, by forcing everybody to come back into the office, it's not going to solve the problem of not getting good results. Here's the issue. Are you managing for results or are you managing for hours worked? Right? There's a huge difference between the two. There's a big mindset difference from a leadership and a management standpoint. And if you are managing for hours worked, you got to see the people in order to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing and they're not goofing off. Then that goes back, it is a companion to problem number one, which is just bad management. You need to upgrade your management team's skills so they know how to manage the results, so they know how to manage projects. So your people that you're bringing back into the office know how to manage projects. You know, one of the things we use Zoom as an example, a huge enabler for being able to work out of the office, be able to work remote. They're bringing people back into the office and still having them work on Zoom while they're in the office. They're still Zooming with each other. Kind of crazy, huh? And don't do crazy stuff like that. Focus on results. And if you're not getting the results you want, why? And then implement changes around what makes the difference. Now, again, having people back in the office, there's legitimate reasons for doing that. One is team dynamic. The relationships that everybody has with each other are crucial to having a strong team, to having a strong team dynamic, to having a high performing team, building a high performing team. If you're not focusing on relationships, you know, bringing them back in because you're getting bad results isn't going to help. You gotta have the right focus, the right mindset for making this work. Now, that's one of the reasons to bring it back in the office, but more likely it's, hey, we're not really getting the results we want, or someone on your management team is constantly complaining about not getting the results, and that's one of the drivers. That's a management problem. That is not a people working remotely problem. Because consider this. Remote work has been going on for 100 years. Sales teams have been out in the field since early 20th century, late 19th century, even late 1800s. You had people that were selling pots and pans, going around with horse and wagon, selling stuff on behalf of a company. Sears and Roebuck launched their catalog in the 1800s. That was a huge remote sales operation. That's nothing new. So what has changed? The technology that we are using has changed. The nature of the relationships has changed. It's a lot more competitive. There's a lot more people doing it. But let's come back to sales teams. If it is possible to run a high performance sales team remote because they need to be out in the field selling, not hanging out in an office, unless it's a call center, and I'll just leave that alone. I'm not talking about call centers where you have face-to-face sales. You have people that are out in the field. That works. Why can't you make remote work for you? Right. So that second item, getting results. If they're not getting results, having them come back into the office isn't going to fix that. You need to look at how is that part of a bigger initiative of things that need to be done, system changes, or perhaps system creation that is going to make it be working for you. So just wanted to make this another brief part two. Remote work. If you're bringing them back in the office, be careful with that. The big risk is you're going to lose the people you really wanted to keep. They've got options. And if you're forcing them to do something after 3 years of working remote that doesn't fit with their plans, guess what? They're going to exercise those options. So mind the store, mind your team, focus on the team. I'm Wolf. This is Wolf's Watch. Appreciate you being a part of the conversation. I will see you on the trail. And hey, we got another plane coming in. You can hear that.